Welcome back to another episode of First Touch, episode 10 of season 3. And it has been a crazy winter split so far. It continues on, but we're nearing the finish line here. Dazzler and Roldiz and T-Bates here, of course. Gentlemen, what's up? What's good? How you guys doing? Welcome. Today is Wednesday. Okay. What the heck?
Simple. I don't gotta say nothing. You see it.
Yeah, Dazzler and Roldiz and T-Bates. It's Wednesday, February 22nd. T-Bates, happy belated birthday. His birthday was yesterday.
Thank you, DeMar.
Yeah, and
I appreciate
Raul,
that.
congrats on winning the North American Winter Cup.
Thank you,
Winter
thank you,
Cup.
thank you.
Winter Cup.
Appreciate that.
I was jarring, wasn't it?
Hey, look, DeMar.
Yeah.
He's over here winning. I don't know how much of the prize split he gets as being a coach.
Mm.
I'm assuming he gets something. Is that something? Is that something that you could tell the populace, or is
Nah,
that?
I get all that goes to the players, you know. They
That's
deserve it.
terrible. That's terrible. You allow them to take all that?
All that goes to the players. They deserve
Then
it.
what?
man.
Then what is your role?
Huh?
Huh?
What people that look? Half the chat thinks I'm just a cheerleader. I know.
Okay, so it's not okay. Yeah, and now they're really gonna think you're a cheerleader. You're not getting any of that cut. You're just over there
I'm a
talking.
cheerleader, bro. I'm a
Wait, so
cheerleader.
do you get like a
I
bonus or
want them to think
something?
I'm a cheerleader.
Did you
What?
did you get a bonus or something if y'all win a regional, like in your contract? Like where is your monetary incentive outside of you just be able to keep your job longer by helping them win?
My monetary incentive?
Yeah, I'm just confused here.
Do you get
that's
like a
something-
bonus or something?
That's something that we got to discuss behind the scenes, man.
Oh, okay. Well, listen. It sounds like you need help on your contract negotiations. Don't hire me. I can help.
I'm not gonna hire you.
Wait, I actually expected you to say, call him Bates, we'll figure it out. You said, don't hire me, it's crazy.
I'm not an attorney at law. You don't need me just yet.
This dude is dumb.
You don't need me just yet. But yeah, congratulations to FaZe. Raul, it's good to see you. Good to see you smiling for at beginning the show for once. And I was gonna say, but now I just got to take it all back. I was gonna say use some of that prize money to help you buy a light now. But since you didn't gain anything from that, then I guess you're still at square one.
Here we go.
I mean, he's
Bro, I
looking
got
well
good
lit
lighting,
today.
look.
He's looking well lit today. I'll say that much.
He has some type of browser open or something. It's
A
giving him some
browser? He
yellow-
got
some
a
yellow-
bright
yeah,
monitor.
yeah.
I got the He typed white image.
he has some browser open or something. It's very clear. This is not a good light. I don't know what it is.
Let me try that.
That's all right.
White image.
Wait, why is he trying to get help? Okay, while Roldiz looks that up, I want to introduce our guest that will be with us for the show today. Let's bring them in. We got Bora, Furia, Jorby, and NRG Jamesbot. Jorby, welcome to the show.
Dazzler and Roldiz, Bates. It's great to be here again. I love being here with you guys. Thanks for bringing me on.
Jamesbot, hello.
Hey, that's kind of a short welcome. You know, I was expecting a big, warm, lovely hug and a nice welcome.
You
but,
shouldn't expect anything from me. It's violence.
Yeah, no, okay. We should dig into that maybe later. But honestly, it's great to be here. I was off this last weekend. I wasn't on the broadcast because it was my 2-year wedding anniversary. I've been married for 2 years to my beautiful wife, Katie. So we were out
Congrats.
celebrating. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Lots
James.
of reasons to celebrate, especially T-Bate's birthday. I forgot to, bring that up at dinner, but with my wife. But you know, sorry about that.
I
We'll get that
hope
next year.
you don't bring it up at dinner. I don't think she cares.
But I do though. That's the difference.
James is like, I love you so much. Oh my God, it's T-Bate's birthday. I forgot to call him.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, you're right. Bates' birthday was yesterday. Mine was on Friday. If you missed
That's
it,
Friday.
James dropped a diss track on my birthday to give me a very good happy birthday. You can check that out on his YouTube. I think is it Go Jamesbot Go on YouTube?
Yes, it is.
Okay. For reasons I will not disclose, and it has nothing to do with my personal preference, we cannot play the diss track today. I'm so sorry to all of you guys who want to see that, but we are
It's
here.
great though. You should watch it. You should listen to it.
Sure.
It's a banger.
James, he's still rocking NRG merch. You see it, huh?
I'm watching.
Yeah,
It's musty merch.
I mean, it's musty
fine.
merch, right? I think like one thing, if the title of the diss track was Money Talks, and you know, I think everybody knows Musty's got a lot of money. He did the Musty Madness. Dazzrin, he loves money. You know, he follows the money. And so I'm not surprised to see the musty shirt. I wish it was NRG, but
Here in Daz
the world
cast
is the way
the
it
grand
is.
final of Gen G versus FaZe.
Don't do that.
I was convinced. I was like, I think his allegiance is on the line in this series right now. Like with how FaZe are looking, I'm like,
Well, I was gonna ask Roll.
I don't know. He might be wearing a FaZe hat when it gives on the first touch. I thought it might have happened, but
What the heck?
Bandwagon?
They thought it
Stop
was
it.
the bandwagon again.
The bandwagon. He likes to flop. That's all I gotta say.
What are you talking? Let's just get to the topics. Let's talk about FaZe.
You want this
Clan.
jersey? Hold on.
No, I got like 2 FaZe jerseys and 2 foam fingers at the crib. You want? I'll pull one up when we get ready to go through all these.
Yeah,
FaZe
you'd rather pull one
highlights.
out if they lost.
What? I was gonna wear my Gen G jacket if they lost. Anyways, as you can see, this is the North American Winter Cup bracket. FaZe Clan ended up winning against Gen G Mobile 1 in the finals. It was FaZe Clan almost swept, and then Gen G brought it back to Game 7 just to drop it at the end, basically. I would say, though, looking at this initially, besides, I'd say V1 going out round 1, SSG taking out NRG, that just being an initial matchup, things are starting to kind of trend towards that direction of top teams kind of taking those top spots. But again, this is not about just the overall arching thing. We'll get into that later. It's about FaZe Clan right now winning that Winter Cups. We get into these clips. Raul, talk to me about your team.
You know, the team we play in the finals, the team that you hopped the ship for, I told my team, there's a reason why they're successful. There's a big reason why they're successful, and it's because they utilize each other. They play like a team, and I've talked about it over and over and over again. And I guess it just took them getting beat so much by this team. Every single time, it just felt like we would just get beat by Gen G, and I was like, "Yo, listen, we either join them to beat them, because individually, I think my team has the 3 better players, but we just never played as a team, and this regional proved what I'm saying."
Yeah, looking at the head-to-head matchups between Gen G and FaZe, FaZe now take the lead in series wins. Out of the 9 series, FaZe has won 5, Gen G has won 4, but they're tied in games 1 with 21. But that being said, Sypical had a really good event, especially in the finals. I think that was like the biggest thing that a lot of us saw. We talked about, someone mentioned a stat line on First Killer as well, going into that, or like just during that finals. I believe he scored in game 1, but then he didn't score again until game 6. So that kind of team play thing starting to like work out here a little bit. James, how do you feel about how this FaZe roster looked?
I actually, I was really impressed with FaZe. I think the challenge with FaZe is that a lot of times I've been impressed with FaZe, and a lot, like, they have won things before. So, you know, I'm hoping that this is a long-term thing. And I actually do think that FaZe has turned a corner just looking at their gameplay on the pitch. I think there was a play where Mist literally pre-jumped. Like I thought it was Gen G on the play because I didn't have my full attention, but Mist pre-jumped. He scores a goal that, Gen G has been, that style of play has been what they've been relying on recently. And FaZe comes out and they set the tone in that game. And everyone on that team had huge moments. I think Mist, especially to close out the series, you cannot forget that they almost got reverse swept. Like, we were 1 game away from the entire narrative around FaZe being reinforced. But they pulled it off because Mist had a really good game. But Sypical looked like he was back in Season 8. And then First Killer on the interviews. And this is credit to Roldiz. Exactly what Roldiz just said. That is what First Killer said on his interview. He said, we're playing as a team. We're going to try to get everybody the same time on the ball. And we're going to just try to lean into that and play as a team. And they did that. So I think FaZe is looking phenomenal. I think a lot of people thought they were the best team just looking at all the pieces, but can they keep that mental strength?
I mean,
it's tough for them. I think it's going to be tough for them to stay this strong mentally.
I don't know. I feel like the keys. They found the keys to the lock. Personally, like hearing First Killer talk in the interview was interesting to me because I've never heard First Killer really talk too much about what they're trying to do behind the scenes. And after they beat G2, he talked about how they're looking a lot closer at their replays. They're trying to utilize each other more, like you were saying, James. And like, what did they get out of it? I mean, FaZe, they had a plus 31 goal differential in this tournament. The next highest was Gen G and G2 tied for plus 16. They literally almost doubled the goal differential, which is how insane they were in this tournament. Like nobody could stop them. It was crazy to see. FaZe, like, this is kind of what we always expect FaZe to do with the roster, but they never seem to like actually put it together and absolutely crush everybody offensively. But this time they did, and I think it's for real.
Bates, do you think it's for real? This new FaZe clan?
I mean, that's the question for the next topic. I'm just letting everybody get the thoughts, and I ain't got no thoughts on fourth no more. They did a good job. I'm proud of FaZe.
Did you call first killer fourth? Is that what you're saying? Well, I'm just trying to understand.
Oh no, the topic's named fourth no more.
Oh,
And then
okay.
that's named fourth no more.
All right.
They
they
played well.
Okay.
They played well. And
Okay.
I think everybody summed it up pretty nicely.
I agree. Big ups to FaZe clan. Definitely saw that progression, and they look good. Now, of course, let's throw it into the juice, the hot seat, the conversation. Best in North America. Who's the best in North America now? Gen G first NA team to qualify for San Diego. You see it there. We have a tweet. Why does it say the bandwagon tweet? What is that about?
I told you, bro. Your allegiance was on the line in that grand final, but you stuck with your
Money
team.
talks.
You stuck with
Remember
your
and
team,
listen
or
to-
did you? We don't know.
Why is this a tweet?
It's a whole image.
You got sent some
This
Facebook,
was
didn't you?
photoshopped. This was photoshopped
next
just
chapter.
because.
Daz, that's a great signature, bro.
Thank you. That was actually mine. I sent it to Jay.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
no.
Uh-oh.
What is that?
I got the foam finger, but that don't mean I'm switching like that. Like,
Got the foam
talk about some
finger.
next
You got
chapter.
the jerseys on lock. They're in
Honestly,
the
Yeah,
closet.
Desmond's like, they got to win at least one more before I switch. Come on, guys. Be real.
Honestly, switching to FaZe probably be the easiest thing ever because I think I might have the most merch. It's like between them and NRG from the amount of merch I have.
He's setting it up.
But I would not. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Oh man.
Answer the question. I'm starting with you, Jamesbot. Who's
All
the
right,
best
well-
in North America right now?
I think it would be, disingenuous to not say Gen G. I think you have to say it's Gen G. Just looking at the body of work that they've done, it's not comparable. It's literally not comparable. And even in this last series where FaZe took them down, they almost reverse swept. If Gen G just didn't have, if they had one better game earlier on, maybe they close out that series. So even though Gen G lost to FaZe, I still think what they've done and what they have been doing, they are just without a doubt number one. They have the target on their back. So I think the question of who's the best in NA, if you're just talking about the number one spot, it's a pretty dull conversation. But I think if you're talking about which teams are going to make the major, which are the best teams in NA, that gets interesting. But Gen G is on top without a doubt.
I 100% agree with you, James. I think that FaZe winning once is not convincing enough, especially since they went out in round one. Although I will say that M80 loss is looking better and better over time for FaZe. So, but like Gen G, I mean, they've made every single grand finals, and FaZe only beat them once here. So I think I need to see that again before I'm willing to say, FaZe I think are close, because if you look at things statistically, FaZe and Gen G are neck and neck, top two in every major statistical category: score per game, goals for, goals against. They're not really, they're kind of spread in the middle of the pack, but the score per game and goals for both of those teams, it's either FaZe in first or Gen G in first, no others. So I think they're pretty close, and if this next regional it might happen, rematch could happen. The result might be a little different, and I might be singing a different tune. But Gen G, you got to give them the credit.
Do I even need to say that? They've already said enough for me. Gen G Mobile One Racing is the best team in the world still. Yeah, FaZe Clan, they got the win, but listen, can you do it again? You had the 9th through 12th. M80, they almost blew up the whole roster.
She had on, man.
But my God, when the Tigers get going, oh man, it look like they can't be beat. FaZe got this one. I'll give them that. That's right, Tiger Nation.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the
Why James looked destroyed. He had to take off the headset.
I just knew it was coming.
Wait, who's the Tiger Nation? Is it Gen G?
yeah, that's Gen G. That's the thing. You don't see it on the tweets. Hashtag Tiger Nation. Come on now.
Oh wow. I don't know about that. Y'all need to change y'all's mascot.
What the heck? What's wrong with that?
Because that's reserved for winners.
Oh, you're a
greatest of the
hater.
greatest.
Because
Yeah, like he's talking about LSU.
Bates. I'm sorry.
That's reserved for legacy.
Well, go ahead, man.
See, I'd be extremely biased, you know, if I were to grab this jersey and, you know, kind of like open it up a little bit so y'all can see the FaZe being the best team. You know, but that'd be disrespectful to the team that's been winning consistently. I think it is currently still Gen G. We're gonna take that spot though, moving forward. So. How about say something?
Teammates, what do you got to say?
I was gonna say, how long are you going?
I'm saying boo because he can't say G2 no more. This is not even in the conversation.
Boo! I can't believe you didn't say FaZe. That's unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. You just absolutely handled business.
I said we're gonna take the spot.
Yeah, okay, so you're the best then. You're the best then if you're gonna
This
take
is
the
a 200
spot.
IQ play by
But
Raul
you
though.
said
'cause
right
now
now.
first killer's
Yeah,
gonna be
right
hungry.
now.
He's like,
So,
oh,
wait,
coach doesn't think we're the best.
Oh. So in a week and a half, you'll be the better team.
We'll see.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You don't just get better by playing practice, buddy. You know it happens on the pitch. And so, come on now. Anyways, best team in North America right now. Well, let me tell you something. It's an interesting conversation. It's not as clear-cut as people think it is.
Bro, here you go. You
Jen-
just did all
This
that
is
just to
so-
go. Well, we can't. I mean, I
No
could go this
shot,
way,
you're-
but you could also go
Oh,
this
no,
way.
Bates, no shot, you're about to do
Hold
this.
on, wait. I haven't picked a team yet, actually, if you let me finish.
gosh, bro.
You
Don't-
should have picked your
don't do
team.
no
You picked Gen
blasphemous
G.
G2,
Every
bro.
single
I
person on
swear
here
if you
put
say
Gen
G2
G.
right now.
And then, see, listen, I'm here to give y'all the gospel. The real gospel. All right, let's talk about FaZe first. FaZe! Had a great time last weekend. I had a great time. But you look at the metrics, you look at the numbers, and they were doing a lot of camping that. It wasn't a lot of movement happening over there. They had a gospel kumbaya cooking. Shout out to old NRG. Gospel kumbaya was back there. They were singing, oh, Lord, and we need to save every single ball. And listen, when you got Nick Costello back there, when you got First Killer back there, you got Sid back there, you could do some incredible saves. They got the individual talent, the individual pedigree. But when you're the highest rated, when you're the team with the most amount of time spent in the back of net, that is a metric, by the way. Go look it up. That was FaZe Clan, #1. I don't know. It's hard to duplicate that. I got to see it again. I got to see more team plays out of FaZe. There was a lot of solos, and it was a lot of just great individual play. Could have some great individual players. I can't put them at number
Are you
one right now.
serious?
I can't do it no more right now.
Did you just
Now-
actually have that whole whatever you just went through and say that there was just individual plays? Did you just really do that?
I still- I'm trying to
said
wait for
you
his point. Did
need
he make
more
it yet?
Team plays.
Are-
You need more team play. It's getting there though. I was very surprised. You had a couple movements, but it was a lot of net camping. I wasn't necessarily a fan. I wanted to see y'all get out more, set the tone.
FaZe had an 87% assist percentage, so 87% of their goals were assisted.
Okay, you understand how that works? An assist is one touch. You can boom the ball from the net, and then somebody can shoot the ball real fast. In a 5-second span, that's an assist. That's not an impressive
Okay,
stat.
well
Jorby.
compare that
Give
to
me something else,
Dignitas.
Jorby.
Well, no, seriously. On this stat, if you look at number 16, which is Dignitas, it's a huge drop off at 65%.
Okay, it's
Oh,
Dignitas in
assist
comparison to
percentage.
FaZe. We're talking about the
So,
best in North
but-
America.
I know, but
I'm
I'm saying
interested what
I'm saying that the
T-Bates is gonna
difference
say,
is
though.
massive. 87%.
Because
I feel like
Dignitas
we're
is
getting off
nowhere
on a
near the best
tangent.
team in North
We got
America.
off on a
So of
tangent.
course
The
it's
question was
massive.
who's the best in NA, and
Okay,
then T-Bates
anyways,
is just
I just
pooping
wanted to
on
make sure.
everybody.
I was giving you the rationales why FaZe is #1.
Okay.
Then we're gonna go over to Gen G. See, Gen G is interesting. Gen G, out of the teams about the list, see, they're a real contender for being the best. But now I got some question marks for them. I got question marks because they finally got hit in the mouth. They finally got hit in the mouth for the first time in a minute, and it didn't look like they could take it. They had to bring it all the way to Game 7. All the way to Game 7, I expect. It looked like they're gonna get swept for a little bit too. Jorby, I was in the call with you. I said FaZe 4-0 before the series even started.
He
I
did.
was
He
looking
did
that
say
way
that.
too until FaZe started to throw. FaZe started throwing, and Gen G almost
Actually
marched
about
back.
to
They
say
almost
G2.
slid all the way back. So Gen G, I got to put them on the side for right now. Now we're
gonna
getting to the
say
real best
G2?
team in North America.
Are you gonna
Come
say it?
on,
Best team
dude.
in
There's
North
no
America.
way.
Are you gonna
Bates.
It's a
say it?
team that nobody's talking about. Let me tell you why. Complexity. Let me tell you something. Complexity? Yeah, I'm just playing. It ain't complexity. It ain't complexity, bro. I'm just messing around with y'all. The best team in North America right now. The best team in North America right now.
Jorby's sick.
The best team in North America is still either Gen G or G2. and it's Gen G at the moment.
Oh my God!
I knew you were gonna say it.
You gotta sneak him in. You gotta sneak him in.
Say it, bro. I knew he was gonna say G2. Bro, I wanted to say G2 so bad.
I said it's Gen G. I said it's Gen G.
Yeah, you started with G2 though. You slipped it in
wanted
there.
to
No, I said Gen G or G2.
You want to say
bad.
G2 so bad, bro.
How can I fit the name G2 in this sentence? I'll
What do
say
you
it's
mean?
Gen G and maybe G2.
Well, listen.
You're right.
listen.
G2 as in 2 G's
Hold on.
and Gen G.
Hold on,
Thank you.
wait. Gen G's still the best team in North America just because they've won everything outside that last
Then
one.
why didn't you just say that? This whole question was who's the best in NA
Because,
right now.
James,
You could have just
James,
said Gen G.
James, because that would have been the boring route. Had to lead y'all down
The
the
boring
storyline.
route. I was
Y'all
bored
were
waiting for you
captivated.
to
You were
talk in
captivated.
30
See, look,
minutes.
see that emotion you're getting right now? You were captivated the whole time. Just for me to say
I was
Gen G
not
at the end
captivated.
anyways.
I was
He was captivated. It's crazy.
I was perplexed. I was confused. I know what Pokemon feel like when it says Jamesbot was confused. It hurt himself. You know that was that.
That was a wild roller coaster. That's what I felt like I went on.
But
right now.
but it's Gen G. It's Gen G. I mean, they just won too much. But I do think the door has been open for FaZe and G2 to get in there. Those are the three.
G2.
What's wrong with G2?
Oh.
Wait, time out. Whoa. G2 versus y'all semifinals was a close series. Stop acting like y'all just walked in there and just rolled.
But yeah, the G2 versus Gen G the last 2 times were such beatdowns. I don't think I let my kids watch it if I had any. It wasn't even close. G2 versus Gen G. So I mean, I feel like in order to have them elevated to that conversation, they need to be competitive with all the top teams in
They
there.
are competitive
I
with
don't-
all the top teams.
Okay,
Bro.
so the last 2 series that G2 played against Gen G, do you think those were competitive?
I don't know when the last 2 times they played them. I know the last time they played them was in
Last
the
time,
Winter Open, and they got swept.
Yep.
And then
They
and
got
then,
smoked.
and then before that, I'm assuming it had to be in the fall then.
yeah.
And in the fall, they played at some point, I guess.
Both times that they met up in the playoff bracket, they got demolished. So
Okay,
I think
that happens.
I think
happens?
the only 2 teams that are up there in the conversation for the best in NA right now is FaZe and Gen G. I don't think there's anyone else.
Whoa.
There's nobody else.
Bro, it
right
doesn't
now for
just
that
happen
segment.
to a team. Yeah, the question is who's the best in North America right now? Right now.
Yeah, that's what I said. Gen G.
You can't get swept. You cannot get swept by Gen G
You finished ninth.
and even have G2
Time out.
come out of your mouth right now, bro.
Time out. James, what's better? James, Jorby, what's better? I know y'all. What's better? Getting swept by Gen G in the semifinals or not even making it to the bracket?
I think
getting
getting
swept by
swept
Gen G.
by Gen G in
Exactly.
the finals
Thank you.
is better.
So okay. So
But I don't think-
But
What's
that
the
doesn't
point- what's the
mean
point
that
of-
you're
what's the
just
point of
automatically
getting swept?
considered
And
a
then
top
FaZe-
team.
FaZe wasn't even in the conversation. Then FaZe
But
wins.
they won. They beat Gen G in the grand final.
And they also
Okay, so
beat G2
you act like
right
G2
before
could've done
that.
that. They made the grand final.
G2
We literally
can't do that.
beat
They
G2
got
G2 lost to
swept.
FaZe. They lost to FaZe in that same tournament.
Yeah, but you act like G2 couldn't beat Gen G if they were there.
They-
though.
They got
Okay.
swept
On
last
the
time.
last 2 times they matched up in the playoffs, they were not even close.
Okay.
It was not close.
What's the overall record between Gen G and G2?
Three
Somebody
and
give me the
one.
numbers.
3-1. Gen G has 12 games. G2 has 4. 4-0, 4-0. G2 won in Fall Invitational, 1-3, and then Fall Cup was 3-1.
And then they threw that one where Chronic hit that 0-second shot. Yeah, I remember that. I was on that stream. Yeah, that was terrible. I was miserable. That should have been a 2-2. But
You sound miserable now.
no, it's not miserable, bro. Because listen, you also got to take into account Gen G absolutely demolished Complexity. Complexity is an interesting team. They're top 5 in North America. They'll be the major more than likely that they've done the work to split. But Gen G slapped them so badly that Gen G basically just waltzed over them. Complexity just weren't competition. G2 and FaZe was a great series. Both teams were hot and warm. FaZe was so warm after that series that it carried the momentum, came straight in. I told this to Jorby. I said, it's going to be 4-0 because they had the real gameplay. Complexity wasn't even out there against Gen G. And then sure enough, FaZe won it and mopped them off the rip. Then once Gen G started getting warmed up, though, it started becoming a hotter contest. Gen G still won, but FaZe G2 right below. Right there.
You're delusional.
Complexity is higher up on the best team in NA list than G2 is. I hate to break it
How
to
is that
you.
possible? What'd they do? What have they done?
They made a final.
I mean, they've lost to Gen G in the finals, and when they played against Gen G, it was a more respectable series than the G2 series.
So you mean the
Like,
4-0?
I think
the 4-0 in the semis?
what?
They
There was a-
they got 4-0
which
in
one
the
are you
semis.
talking about?
The 4 on the semis.
Yeah, but they
and
made it
went
to the finals. They made it to the finals back
in
in
the finals.
the
Who'd they
Open,
play?
and they actually Brazil.
Okay,
they play?
okay. Time out. Time out.
I don't
Time
think.
out. Are you really
I
rating
think the-
Complexity beating M80 and Dignitas?
I think Complexity
make it to
has
the finals?
done more to be considered the best team in NA than G2 has.
So you mean to tell me that G2 couldn't beat M80 and Dignitas to make it to the final?
When I'm thinking about this question, T-Bates, I think who is currently the best? I think Gen G is currently the best.
Yeah.
All right. So
I
then
think
I
they have
look
a
at
chance
what has
against
G2 done against Gen G and what have some of the other contenders for best team in NA, because in order to get that top spot, you have to be better than Gen G. So I look at what Complexity has done against Gen G and what G2 has done against Gen G, and I have not been convinced. But the last 2 times that we've seen G2 play have been such beatdowns versus Gen G that I don't think they have a better shot at taking down the #1 spot in Gen G than Complexity does. I think it's Gen G on top, FaZe just below them, and then it goes Complexity, and then G2 you can start saying.
That's an interesting power ranking. It's a wrong one, but it's interesting. I give that much. It's wrong. It's straight up wrong. But, I mean, it's an interesting conversation you're trying to occur. I'm not having it, though. It's Gen G 1, FaZe and G2, 2A, 2B.
Well, I think this is a good time for us.
Nah, bro.
You said, wait.
2A, 2B? Bro, stop it, bro. Just move on. Just move on. I'm done, bro. I'm done with him.
It's good.
2A, 2B is crazy. Okay, we need a power rankings. by the
Hey,
end
if
of this
G2
week.
wins the next regional, I want all 5 of y'all back on. Cause then I want to hear what y'all say then. I
would love that. I would be-
Gonna say.
I-
No, I
wait,
already know
if
what
it
James
makes-
gonna say. Because if G2 somehow avoids Gen G in the bracket, it's gonna be, but they ain't playing Gen G, Bates. That's exactly what it's gonna be.
I would give them.
That's
I
exactly
mean, it
what it's
depends
gonna
on the
be.
run, obviously.
Oh, now
right?
it depends on the run all of a
run,
sudden.
but-
When Complexity's whooping up on M80 and Dignitas to make a grand final. Now it depends on
Are
the
you,
run.
no,
You're
you have
flip-flopping,
used the
James.
words
You're
Mickey bracket.
flip-flopping.
Okay, you cannot say Mickey brackets do exist. So I think some people can get further in a tournament and not look as good. I think that is an established, reasonable fact that some teams can make it further than other teams because they have played weaker teams. So I mean, I'm that's what I'm saying when I say we'd have to wait and see what their path was. But I think if you win the whole thing, you know, it kind of closes the book on the topic. But
Wait,
I
so
think
if-
Gen G's. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if it makes you feel better, when Corelli and I did our power rankings, we both had G2 at a comfortable 3. So if that makes you feel a little better, then I hope so. If not, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
I'm giving them the respect. You know?
No, there's 3 teams in NA that are better than all the rest at the moment.
Well, there's 2, but yeah. G2 a third.
I guess there's 2. Winning the 7-minute overtime, really does make a clear distinction, doesn't it?
It does.
I guess. I guess. Singing Kumbaya in it.
Well, we can see who's in the top spots, at least in our opinions, but who's out is going to be the next topic here that we're getting into. The top NA teams on the cusp of missing land, fan favorites in danger of missing RLCS Worlds. Now, this is something that's going on around the entire world right now in competitive Rocket League, not just North America, but let's zoom in on NA right now. This is the point leaders in the winter split. You can see Gen G Mobile One Racing already clutching at 36 with Complexity and FaZe 3 points apart from each other. G2 1 point apart from FaZe Clan. And then under that, Dignitas, SSG, M80 all within a point from each other, and Knights, NRG, Furia all within 3 points of them. So it's very, very close here. And people are talking about even the world's conversation as we take a look at the total standings to see how things look here. And the numbers have definitely shifted. Positions have shifted a lot here. Gen G at the top with 108, FaZe with 77. G2 and SSG 3 points from each other. Version 1 keeping up with them. And then you have Complexity, NRG, Furia, Dignitas, and Knights taking in those lower spots. James, going to you first again. I mean, this is, you're right, the fan favorites are in danger.
Yeah. No, this has been a really interesting split. I think FaZe, really, that first regional, you're wondering, is FaZe going to be part of this group of favorites missing out? But that win, you feel like, is pretty much going to lock him in. But I kind of look at the list of where everyone's standing, and my cutoff is, it goes all the way down to version 1. I think anyone from version 1 and up, has a decent amount, or it has a good chance to make it. I think the Knights, I would not bet on. Furia, I would not bet on. Koi, I would not bet on. really. But when you just look at the distribution of points, anyone who's within kind of 4 points of one another, if you have a deep run, that's you can at least tie to force the tiebreaker to see who goes to the major. I think version 1 has the capability of winning it all, but because they have in the past, they're a team that has won regional events. So if they pull that off, they might just sneak in that 5th spot. But I really don't know. I have no idea what to expect in this one. Dignitas and M80 would be great stories, but I think Space Station is probably the favorite. If you're just looking at odds and you're, trying to determine who's got the best, if it's completely neutral, I think Space Station would be the team with the best odds of making it into that top 5 spot and kicking everybody else out.
Follow up. What do you think is NRG's chances of making the major?
So I think there's probably a 15% chance. And I think that is still pretty hopeful. I think there's still 15% chance is not bad. Like if you're talking about crit chance.
No, that's great.
15%
That's a great
chance. Is pretty decent.
That's an amazing chance.
But the reason I say that is because I've watched a lot of NRG. And they can hang with all the top teams. I think NRG has the ability to beat any one of these top teams. And when it comes to performance, Garrett G hit the best flip reset that I think I've seen ever this last event. It was a perfect top corner, insane amount of power on his scoop. And they've all had those moments, but the place where NRG has been falling short has been the mental game. And I think you could probably say that about them for a while, but when it comes into these situations where it's make or break, like the G2 series, when you think about the 0-second goal that they let in against FaZe, every single game went to overtime and they just couldn't win the overtimes. NRG has been struggling to win these overtimes, and they've been in a lot of these situations where they are on the cusp. They just need to break through and then get over that mental barrier, and they haven't been able to do it. And I still hold out hope that they can. Because I think, when you're looking at all the teams out there, if any one of these teams, 5 through 12 wins, their chances of going are incredible. I think they will lock it in if they win. So I look at the NRG as one of those teams that can do it. I think they can do it. I think Space Station can win. I think NRG can win. I think version 1 can win. I don't think any of the other teams that are 5 through whatever are going to be able to win.
Jorby, so he didn't say Furia there. Thoughts?
No, he said Furia earlier. He said he would not bet
But I don't
on
think
them.
Furia can win it, Jorby. I'll make that clear.
No, I mean, you made it clear earlier. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm less convinced by NRG than I am by Furia, though. I don't think that NRG look really any different than they ever have.
Shocker.
They sit on defense. They get nothing done on offense, and they play in OTs against teams they never beat. So that's but hey, like Furia are also in a similar position. They haven't had the best time. However, I don't really think it looks that bad for Furia. Obviously, their chances aren't the greatest. They put themselves in a hole, losing to M80, no doubt at all. But the pieces are definitely there. There are times where Lost looks like he's still adjusting to the region. I'm just going to start calling it region shock for when these teams move over to.
Oh, he's got a copium freeze.
It's not a copium shock.
He's inventing terms.
I've been impressed with Card. I think Card has been the most consistent player on Furia. He keeps them in a lot of games. And when you look at the teams that they played, really, you look at it a little closer, and it doesn't look that bad. So in Regional 1, they beat FaZe, they beat Knights, they beat Shopify Rebellion, 3-0'd their group. Then they got the reward of playing the hottest team in North America, Gen G, where they took a game and 3 games went to overtime against Gen G. And I remember watching those games. And while some games I thought Furia looked pretty poor with communication issues, I think they have a tendency to tilt personally. But you lost to the hottest team in the tournament. Look what they did to G2 right after, and then the Complexity right after. And then go into Regional 2, and Furia, they play against Complexity. Now, I casted every single group stage Furia game. I remember that series against Complexity, and that looked like a contender against Complexity. But then they got reverse swept, and when they got in the series versus Space Station, I've never seen a team tilt out harder of a series. Like FaZe might be up there for a team that tilted out once and like completely just gave up dummy goals, but I've never seen so many dummy goals in a single game. Space Station were literally handed a free victory. And I think it was like a big mental block for them. Getting reverse swept by Complexity, I think it really gutted them, and it affected their performance in the next game. Now, my last point, I know I've been going on for a while, but they get to round 1 of the playoffs, okay, and they get swept by M80. And on the surface, you might think M80, nobody should be losing to M80. But M80 are starting to prove that they should be talked about a little more, and they might even end up making the major. I'm kind of an M80 believer.
M80 could make the major.
The way they played against Gen G, was like every single game was a 1-goal game. And those first 3 games, M80 looked like they were just like 1 touch away from beating them. Like they were so close every single time. I was so impressed with M80 that every single win and even the losses that they're accruing, I think it looks better on them than it looks bad on the teams that they've lost that have beaten them, or that they have beaten, excuse me. And that's it. That's all I got. So I think that Furia, they ran into the hottest team in the tournament, Regional 1.
Yep.
Regional 2, there was mid-tournament tilt, and then they caught a hot team that was going to beat them. So their major chances are really tough, but I think out of all the teams on that list, 5 through 10, if I had to pick one team that could have a pop-off day, Furia are the most likely team to have a pop-off weekend. They got too much talent on that team. Once Lost figures it out, it could just click. It could just click. This NRG team has been doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's not going to click. They're top 8, and that's probably where they'll sit.
Jorby, I hate to say it, dude, but Furia's in the same boat. That's why they made a roster change. So, like, I, you know, you can attack NRG, but I think Furia's in the same exact spot. I think the team that has the best pop-off potential is Space Station. I think that.
Well, I mean, Space Station are going to get in, absolutely. But I'm thinking about that fifth spot.
Jorby,
I'm thinking about
we ought
the
to
fifth
be
spot.
allies in this, okay?
Are we? No, we can't be allies because it's either you. Or it's either NRG or it's Furia. Both of us aren't making it, James. Both of us are not making it.
I tell you what, maybe we can work something out behind the scenes, all right? Because
nah, you know what I'm noticing? You know what I'm noticing?
What's up?
Jorby just went on a 10-minute soliloquy. I got 4 dudes on this stream who've been bought out by organizations. One guy's been bought out by Gen G. The other one works for FaZe. You got NRG, Jamesbot, and you got Furia, Jorby. I'm the only
Mr.
person
2A
here.
and 2B
I'm
over
the only
here.
person here that's neutral. I'm the only person here that's neutral. And it's absolutely crazy.
You are
This is why I'm here to
G2,
give the actual
You
announce.
really thought that you was gonna get away
You're
with that?
not getting away with
You're
this.
not getting away with that.
G2 FaZe, 2A, 2B
stream.
They're 2A, 2B. What do you mean? What do you mean? That's a
2A, 2B.
No. Okay, if FaZe wins again, then it's a clear 1-2. Gen G FaZe and G2 drops to 3. That's what it is. I'm unbiased here. I don't go on 10 minutes alone.
I'm unbiased.
Talking about
Can you believe
regardless though? Nah.
He just said I'm unbiased.
That
I am
is
unbiased.
crazy. That is crazy.
I didn't know that you just
I'm here
like
to get the facts.
enjoy lying.
I'm not lying. I'm giving the seriousness. Y'all can look at my face right now, chat. Do I look like a man?
Chat. Let us know right now.
I don't.
I couldn't even hold it. Dad couldn't even finish the
look at the
sentence
camera
before he
with a straight
broke.
face. There's no way.
Oh my god.
Bro's just lying to chat.
No, I couldn't keep a straight face because everybody was laughing too much. Chat, we have to run that again another time. Regardless, though, my point being, it actually popped up in my head because this Jorby was over here running through all these overtimes.
Or you were running through some overtimes earlier.
No. This might be beneficial for you, Jorby, because they don't. Since we do just straight up brackets at the end, should a team get more points for losing a close series that goes like overtime, multiple games, than they would just like losing like a general?
No, that's so subjective. That's so subjective.
It's subjective. No, it'd be objective. It'd be overtime. Like overtime gets you a point, another like half a point. So like rather than just losing in regulation, losing overtime, you get another half point. So rather than winning 8 points, say you go like 4-1, it's overtime, you get 8.5.
I see what you're saying. I feel like a better way to do that, because I feel like that would heavily skew points for team. Like it would heavily skew points, like because there's so many. You could have 7 overtimes in a single game, so you could accrue 7 points on a series that you didn't win. I think what would be better if you wanted to do something like that is in hockey they have that, right, where if you get to OT you get a point back because you get 2 points for a win. So maybe you can do it if you force game 7, then maybe you get like a point or something like that. Personally, I don't think we should add any points at all, but if you wanted to do something like that, I think that would be better than each individual overtime.
Okay, that's fair. I was throwing out there. I'm of the mindset of W is a W and L's an L, so just win or lose.
Yeah.
But I know some people probably don't like it.
That probably make
trying
more
to find
sense in a
ways to
league play
maximize
system.
it. So it just popped in my head. All right, next subject, DeMar. After we establish that I am the most not biased person here.
Next topic. Let's talk about hopping regions. Was Furia moving to NA
Let me go first.
wrong move?
I'm
Furia
tired of going
made
last.
743,260
My goodness.
in the past calendar year.
My
That's a
goodness.
lot of bread.
That's
Base.
a lot of bread.
What's up?
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Jorby. Jorby, I'm coming right back to you, man, because you know why? 'Cause I was on this the moment the move happened. It was the wrong move. Simple and plain, Jorbizzle. I was doing the calculations then, and now I was doing the calculations on Monday. And the amount of money that they have lost out on prize winnings alone is substantial. Because that 743,000, for those of y'all who don't know, does include Gamers 8. And we included Gamers 8 in that calculation because Furia got the invitation because they were the #1 team in SAM. That's why they had to go through no qualifiers. So without that, in NA, they're not getting that automatic qualification. They got to go through quals. And I'm pretty sure if there's Gamers 8 that happens again, everybody's playing it now. That cash is hard to pass up on. So now that does not mean that they're even going to be there. So that's another 200-something, or how much is that, 500,000? Or like 400,000. It was something ridiculous. It was a ridiculous amount of chicken cash they had up in there that they might not be able to have. And then on top of the winnings alone, in first place in SAM, you net 9,000 per. I don't think they've made more than 4,000 in anything they played in so far this year. And then I don't. The only thing that I don't know about, and I'm assuming the reason they moved, and I'm assuming they get paid more in NA now, contract wise. How much more? I do not know. That's a question I have no answer to. I have no answer to. But even then, I think about that. I think about the lifestyle change, the move. It's something to move countries, let alone move continents, and then the whole entire culture difference, everything else into that, the amount of pressure put on these young men. I've never really been the most fond of the move. It also doesn't seem like it's a complexity like move where they're in the facility and all. It's like I don't know. It just doesn't seem the same. And when you're losing,
They do have a
that much money, bro.
that they go
that
to.
much money, bro. Ooh, I don't know, man. You lose
So,
the element of surprise.
So you're looking at the money that they potentially lose out on, and you're looking at the assumption here. Okay, and it's not, to me, it's not a good assumption, is that Furia would get #1 in South America every time. And they didn't even do that when they did play in South America.
Wasn't it like 8 out of 9?
They would get
or 7 out of 9?
It was 7 for 9, but even in RLCSX, like it was pretty competitive. That was back
Complexity
when
was there.
True Neutral was still there. Now Complexity, but you also have to look at South America right now, where a team that has made the last few lands, the club, now Ninjas in Pajamas, aren't even like top 5 in their region in points. There is a new team, Exceed, who has made 2 grand finals in South America. They were 10th seeded in the first regional. No one in South America has ever done that, and they beat the #2 seed in Ninjas in Pajamas in Regional 1. They beat the #3 seed Crew Esports, who has also been itching for a land spot. They just got their grand finals victory, but there's a 3-way tie for first in South America right now. This region has good talent that I'm not, like, Team Secret very well could miss land. We might not see former club or Secret in San Diego. It's very possible we could have
shows the
Crew
region's
and
inconsistent.
Exceed. So what I'm saying is that, like, just because Furia or Furia doesn't mean that they're going to get. There's only
But
2
they're
spots in
consistent team,
South
though.
America.
They're
There's
consistent,
only
though.
2. And,
Yeah, they're consistent,
and you
though.
mentioned everything about opportunity moving to North America. I imagine there's a lot of benefit to that. But, like, moving is not a mistake based on you assuming that they're going to win every single time in South America.
I wasn't
There's a lot of
assuming they were gonna win
benefits.
every time.
There's a lot of benefits to moving. And Complexity in their
Give me a
first
benefit.
season, what did Complexity do in their first season? And now look at them. I think that Furia, they made a roster change after things didn't work out because they were thinking about the future. I think Lost is a good acquisition for the long term for this team. I think they're thinking ahead. I don't think it's a mistake that Furia moved to North America. To me, I think it's the best thing that could happen to the team because it humbles you. You play in a different region, and that region shock is real. You're going to learn Like you learn a lot playing online against these North American teams, and it's going to take time. But
Yeah.
like this team is
And
still
they learn
mega
a lot about
talented. It
you.
wasn't a mistake. Like it just wasn't.
I think it's only a good move if they had more major spots, like 6 or 7 NA. Then you move, bro. It's too steep. It's too steep. You're putting
At the time
yourself.
Furia moved, like nothing was happening. Like Genji and Furia moved at the same time. So
Exactly. That's
like,
another
they-
2 teams in the
it's-
pot.
Yeah,
Complexity.
well, they didn't
complexity added CR,
anticipate
that's 3
Genji
teams.
moving over. They're only thinking about themselves.
I mean, I think there's a reason why teams are coming to NA. I think it's there's reasons.
Yeah, because we get
And
paid
I
the
think-
most amount of money.
Exactly. And so I think the question should not be, well, I think there's follow-up questions you have to ask. If you say, was Furia going to NA the wrong move? Well, in what sense? Are you talking about money? Are you
I'm talking about money
results?
and gameplay and results.
So,
about
all
everything.
three.
So
At
if
all
you're talking about
facets.
everything, well, what's the most important out of all of those?
Money.
All right. So I think so too for most of the players. And I think that is why they're coming to NA. And I would assume that the contracts are going to be a lot bigger if you're representing a North American region, because you've seen it even in the RLCS where sponsors love North America. And a lot of European and broadcasts around the world, you don't have the same amount of sponsors. And the reason for that is because the purchasing power in this North American region. So a lot of the people want to advertise products there, and that brings in the money all around. The North American region is where a lot of the money is. And so I think there's a good chance that Furia is making more money. I think if they're making more money and they've got the results that they have now, like what we've already seen, then it's a success for them because they're already in North America. If they're here in North America, they can go to other teams in North America if they want to. And also some of the other things too. Maybe they like where they're at more than where they were. Maybe there's some...
Like
Go ahead.
if they like living in North America more than in Sam, I mean that's a different
For
conversation.
sure, but I still think just from the standpoint of if they're making more money and they have the results that they've had right now, like nothing changes, then I think they would probably be happy with that, because at the end of the day, most of these teams are going to be playing for the World Championship, and I think Fury has still got a good chance to be at the World Championship in that final dance of the season with a chance to win it all. So I think even if they have these mediocre results, they don't get any regional wins, if they're making more contractually because they're in the North American region and they have an opportunity to make Worlds, then I think it's a great move for them.
And
I think if
it's
they miss
scary.
Worlds, then maybe that changes. I
It's-
think if they aren't able to make Worlds, then maybe it wouldn't be worth it, even if they are making a little more money.
See, I don't even know if I agree with that. Because think about how South American teams must feel with only 2 spots. You could win a grand final, make it to another grand final, and still not actually make the major because of 2 other teams around you that are also placing high. Like that's scary. Like there's no wiggle room. You have to make grand finals every single time in these other regions. Like that's a ton of stress. Couple that.
That just means you
with
gotta
the
be on
less
point.
well, no. Like couple that with the financial opportunity that NA brings, then like it to me, it just makes sense to give yourself. Yes, NA is a tougher region, but you could, like Furia have shown. I pointed it out in both regionals. They have shown they can compete with these top teams. They absolutely can. They haven't put it together, but they have shown it. It's not like they're getting absolutely crushed every single time. That's not what's happening to them. And like I think people are actually overreacting. I think saying that moving was a mistake is an overreaction. Because like they lost to the grand finalists in the first regional when they looked great in groups, where they beat FaZe, and FaZe looked great in groups against Furia, and then in the second regional as well, where they looked great against Complexity. They didn't end up getting the win, but like these are teams that are like major contending teams that they're playing close to. So I think it's ridiculous to say that, well, they haven't really been playing that well, so they shouldn't have ever moved, especially with the situation in South America and how difficult it is. It's absolutely better to be in North America. I think it's insane to think that they shouldn't have moved. I think that's crazy. Like, I'm not just saying that about Complexity, because everyone was saying that about Complexity. Now look at them; they're top
If they
14.
want a solid financial floor and that's it, then okay, sure. If say they were getting paid $4,000 in Sam a month, and now they get paid $8,000 a month. That's a $40,000.
And there's no guarantee in South America they would make the major. Like it's just there's no guarantee.
$45,000 bump, like financial floor. If you're saying that financial floor, then yes, it's okay. I'm talking overall, like peak, and like just like in terms of exposure like your name, the opportunity to make more money, and like all that. That's why I say it's the wrong move, because all that stuff becomes so much more limited now. The Yan story,
Yep.
the Yan myth,
It's gone.
the Yan mystery, it's gone.
It would have been gone anyway. That
No, it
doesn't
wasn't
matter.
happening. No, it
It
wasn't
would have
happening.
been
No,
gone
it wasn't happening. No, it
anyway.
wasn't going nowhere.
No,
Dude,
because
you
they
guys,
still
you guys,
making
you
lanes.
guys,
He
you
would've
guys
still
really
been
undersell
killing
South
lanes.
America.
That's
Do you
all that
guys,
matters.
watch South America at all? Do you guys like pay attention to it? Genuinely,
You
do
act
you
like
guys pay
they're-
attention to South America?
Oh
No,
my
because you're sitting
gosh.
here saying like, well, Furia, they're gonna make every major if they go to
They're-
South
they
America. If they stay
were.
in South America, they're
think-
not going to.
I think the
They
point,
weren't
Jorby,
going to.
was that, and I think it's an interesting point to make, is that there was a certain bit of
Mystique.
anticipation people had when Sam came to the international events, because you watch Yan pop off in South America, but you're not seeing him play against First Killer, you're not seeing him play against apparently Jack, you're not seeing him play against Jorius, and like you're not seeing him play against these players. Now that Yan is here in North America playing against a major region's best player, I think we have a lot less anticipation of waiting to see Yan. And so I think that's a valid point. I'm not saying, I don't think that I think you can separate that from saying, oh, they would have made every major. I just think they're right. The kind of mystique around Yan has kind of gone away, because we've had opportunities to see him play against NA's best so much, and now he hasn't completely dominated like we've seen on the international stage in the past.
It's just gone now. Like we don't see the same. You might see the same Yan when you watch the games. You might pull out something once in a while, once in a blue moon, but the teams, just like they are adapting to North America is adapting to them, and he's not the same. Like, it's not the same oomph that we saw on LAN, where he would just feed off the confidence and the energy of the crowd. Like in South America, I guarantee you, like, there's a different level of drive that those players have, and the competition might be stiff, but that just ups the ante for say someone like Yan, who would just be like, yeah, I need to make this land. But right now it just seems like they're stuck right now. And you mentioned complexity, and we wouldn't even be talking about complexity if it wasn't for this whole OpTic V1 trade transfer move that was supposed to happen, where multiple NA teams just dumped. Like, there's so many teams that just want a roster move right now, and maybe complexity is not in that fourth place spot if it's a perfect split, and all the teams want the rosters that they initially wanted. Because we're talking about beast mode's not about to make a major. Beast mode is not about to be at a major. Like, there's just top talent in this region that are not about to be in this major because of simple team dynamics.
Yeah, but I think that's why, Furia made a roster move so quickly after moving. I think to me, it's a long-term investment on Lost, because I think they know that Lost is going to have some growing pains coming in. I don't know where exactly Furia's expectations were for this split, but talking to them, just knowing them, I know that they knew that this was going to be work. They definitely expected it to be difficult. So I think long term, like I said, I think the Lost move is good, and I think when you compare anybody to like a FaZe or a Gen G, I think everybody falls short of that. But I think everyone else is a lot closer in contest in these matches, and those are the only two teams in NA that I have a clear head above everybody else. But just how the regionals have gone, how the results have shaken out, and how the teams have looked, I still stand by what I said. I do think that Furia moving was the correct decision. I think it's going to take time. I think they're on a complexity-like journey right now.
They're on a complexity-like journey, making two lands. I'm assuming complexity gonna make it right now. Out of how many lands has there been right now? There's been 3, 4, 5. This would be 6. Wait,
If we're not counting worlds, there's a land every split plus worlds.
yeah, 3 plus 4, so it's 4 a year, and they have 5, and it's 6. Complexity will be have 2 out of 6 of the lands so far. That's not. And that's what Furia is going for, and Furia didn't make the first one like complexity, so they're behind 8 ball. Furia needs to make this land, man, in order for not to be the wrong move, in my opinion. I think the financial only benefit to me is the financial floor of increasing. That's good. That's great, even. But everything else is outweighs that in my eyes. I'm taking a 5K a month in Sam over 8K in NA with a really good chance of making a major spot. Being Mystique, Yam posts on YouTube, he's probably gonna get 100,000 views. Cause he's that mysterious. Over in NA, if he posts on YouTube, he's getting 20,000 views. So like you gotta add all those numbers are gonna change. I'm taking out. I'm rolling with it. That's just me. That's just me. It's easier to win a majors when teams ain't got tape on you.
When they don't got tape on you. I mean, to be fair, they did have tape.
Not enough tape.
I guess so.
They didn't have weeks of scrims on them.
Yeah.
Once you get with them weeks of scrims, them games change. Ain't they right, Raul?
I mean, you have tape, but it's just a different level of play style, right? So like you don't have tape against NA teams or like teams that like you specifically. Yeah, you want to see how they match up against you initially,
Right.
and then like base it off that. Yeah, so.
Which makes sense. So, but you did allude to another point when you were talking, Raul, about complexity, which is something that I want to jump into right now. You said about OpTic and V1 and other teams making roster changes, kind of the reason why NA is a little bit in shambles right now. Let's kind of dive deep into it, especially with OpTic and version 1. Talent versus chemistry, which one should be prioritized? I want to jump to Raul on this one first. OpTic attempted to replace Magic Bear with Calm over on the transfer window. It was because of the rumor with Rise attempting to join version 1. OpTic was going to try to pick up Calm there. Didn't happen, so both teams were stuck with their roster. And yeah, let's just kind of open up this conversation. Raul, starting with you.
Talent versus chemistry, which one should be prioritized? Personally, I think chemistry goes a long way in this game. There's a lot of talented players. When you're talking about these two individual teams, I think chemistry would have benefited them a lot more. I'm going to go chemistry needs to be prioritized a lot more. We talk about the downfall of so many teams, and it is simply because of chemistry. If you are a professional player in this game, you can compete at the top if you're feeling good. You feel good, you play good. That saying is cliche, but it's the facts, and it's true. Most of these teams that deplete, they don't feel good, and they don't want to play with each other. That is why they're in the dumps.
I disagree.
Ooh, why you disagree? Go.
Because if you're talking about talent, which should be the chemistry. I mean, you three have great chemistry. So how about FaZe starts all three of you guys out on the pitch and see what happens?
Well, see, that's the problem,
chemistry
though,
doesn't
because
mean anything.
But there's only 2 or 3 of the people over here that have a little bit of talent. DeMar can hit the ball. DeMar can hit
All right,
the ball.
us three then. Us three. No, I think I look at this question and I say, which one is easier to grow
I can hit the ball
within a roster? I don't think talent is as easy to grow. I think talent is kind of, it comes in at the level it's at. But chemistry is something that can be grown. And I think FaZe is a perfect example of this. I think there, if I'm looking at a team, I'm trying to build the most talented roster I can, even if everyone is a rough diamond to try to work with, because you got people like Roll Diz who makes beautiful cuts out of the most rough diamonds, So chemistry can be made.
Wait,
chemistry
James,
can be grown in a team, but you go for talent. Go for the most talent that you can get.
Okay,
and then try to make the chemistry work.
Well, I think we need to set the parameters here, because when you say chemistry and then you mention all 3 of us, I mean, yeah, of course chemistry doesn't go anywhere. like we're not gonna do anything. We gotta set the parameters. Like I said, like RLCS level. And when I say RLCS level, I mean like that's the floor. Like everybody's RLCS talent level, and we're gonna say like Dignitas. Like,
but I just
like
don't. I don't buy
level.
into that assessment. There is not. Everyone is at a level. There's clearly players who are at a different talent level.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
think,
you have the best of the RLCS, then you have like these people who are like RLCS level.
So if you're like a team that's trying to break in, then maybe chemistry has a lot more value, because I think once you kind of get beyond the best of the best, you're kind of at that situation where a lot of the players you can mix and match up. But I think there are certain players in this game that are just so talented that if you can get them, you can build teams around them. People like First Killer, people like Beast Mode. I think even people like apparently Jack. I think are people that you can just build teams out of based on talent alone. And then you try to incorporate the chemistry, because you can bring chemistry into a situation, but when there's no talent, there's no hope.
So what is NRG doing?
I think NRG has the talent, but they do struggle with the chemistry. I think it's a chemistry issue, because when they don't, I think it's a belief issue, and like believing in the team and overcoming the obstacles, because NRG's been so close, and it just feels like they have I mean, I don't know what's going on.
So you're
But
saying
it looks like on the field that they are playing without the belief that they can win. And so every time they get to the precipice, they're just not able to take that next step. But the talent gets them to the precipice. Like they're there.
yeah,
They're
but
ready to
they
make
can't
that
win
jump.
no more without the chemistry.
Yes, but the talent is what got them there.
I don't care
Well, I think
about
so. I think
talent.
you will
so
never
the
get-
talent
you'll never
can't
get to
mesh.
that point.
It doesn't matter, James.
I don't
There's
think it's
a
a
reason.
versus.
It does.
I don't think
I
this
think
is a
it does.
versus thing though.
You
This
can
is-
get carried on talent. You can't get carried on chemistry.
I don't think these
I
are
don't think-
comparators. These aren't comparators. Talent's required. There is not a like, oh, if we just have chemistry and no talent, we're gonna get somewhere.
But this
No,
is
talent,
this is comparable though, because when we talk about these teams making roster changes, they are valuing talent over chemistry. What is the difference between Calm and Magic Bear?
Well, that's the problem that I agree with, Daz, which is why I'm saying like these still aren't comparators. If you value one over the other, that's a problem of the mindset, in my opinion. Talent is required. Chemistry is forged. Like those two things go hand in hand. You need the talent. Chemistry, it either happens easily or it happens through hard work. I think G2 have talked about this, how they weren't always the best at talking to each other and doing stuff like all the off-camera stuff, right? All the hard work you do off the pitch, like that's where you form that chemistry, right? That's where you build that. Not a lot of people are going to have good chemistry off the bat. But like as a team environment, that's why they do team building stuff all throughout like sports and in like work circles and everything, because that's how you develop chemistry with each other. When we were going to the studio every week, we were doing improv classes before the weekend, and I think that helped the RLCS talent really build rapport.
Yeah,
with
but
each
we're
other.
already
part of that,
maximum talent.
But yeah,
though. they
but
got us because we're so dang good. The
But see, that's
chemistry
what
was
I'm
just
saying,
off.
James.
Clearly, you
Talent
weren't
is
because
required.
You're doing improv.
It's-
that means
it's-
that means you're a little rough around the edges.
That's called practice,
I didn't
teammate.
know
Some of
improv
us
class. That
practice.
wasn't-
Like
Oh,
like
well, I
talent
don't
is
know.
required, period. But
But
chemistry
the-
is forged, and you need both.
You
need
say
both.
that, but
yeah.
when around the time where you guys were doing the studio thing, we had the whole let's play with my friends RLCS team thing, where there were clearly talented players around, I'd say, in that bubble, in that rival series era, but they couldn't get on top teams because somebody wanted to play with their
format.
friend.
No, it was about the format making giving people a lot of armor to
Whoa,
not
whoa,
lose out on their
whoa.
spots.
Don't hate
even
on
though
league
they're
play.
not putting in
league
the
play
work.
was a little. Listen. Don't say
That's
format.
what allowed
league play
them to
was
play
a little
with
rough
their
around,
friends.
a little rough around the edges. Now listen, if anybody ever wants to come to my league play 2.0, we can talk about that any day.
He got a little workshop.
I actually one of the things that I think like it's kind of off topic, but it's kind of similar. I think this next roster window has opened up a lot of interesting players. Like if you're a team, like I'm looking at purely talent. Like I'm not looking out there and saying who's a good teammate. I'm looking at who can I steal, who is the best player. And I'm like from a talent perspective, Beast Mode, Com, AJ, Yan, Arsenal, Reddles. And if you're thinking
Yan can't go
crazy
nowhere,
in
though.
North America, I think Cash or Joyo. These are, if I'm a GM, I'm targeting all these players to try to bring them in. I don't care about how they're going to get along with anybody. I just want them on my
No,
team.
because that matters. That matters. That's one of the reasons. There are certain players that I'm not even gonna get into. There's certain players that if they lost their team would probably not go on to another team no matter how good they are, because people don't mess with them. Like it's really like that. I ain't even gotta say, who I'm talking about. So it's like you need a little bit more than that, because they don't talk. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't know. I'll be honest with
But
you.
I think the question is not, are they important? Because both chemistry and talent, I think, are extremely important. I think it's, if you're the GM of a
What
team,
should be
like let's say
prioritized?
you are the head of First Touch Esports, and you have X amount of $1,000 and you have to sign a player, and you're looking at all the players out there. I mean, are you going to sign someone who's got a 99 in talent and at a 70 in chemistry, or a 70 in talent and a 99 in chemistry?
Oh,
Like,
that's
I'm
easy.
going. I'm
The
going to go
second
for
option.
talent.
Not even a question.
I'm going for
First
talent
off,
all the way.
First Touch Esports will absolutely run this RLCS
That's
team. So
facts.
the way we would make the most perfect roster of all time would be
gosh.
domination. It would be domination. It wouldn't even be close.
James, I do think you overvalue talent. I think that personally, while I do think talent is required, I think that when you look at a talent like all the players that you mentioned, I'm not just looking at their on the field capability. I am thinking about how they would mesh with my teammates, because look, Nolly, before Jack picked him up, he was on Guild. Okay, what did Guild
No,
ever
he was on
do?
Carmine.
Guild never did nothing. Guild never did nothing. He went to Carmine after Guild, and that's where he started.
Wait, Guild never
I think,
did
getting
nothing.
his name back.
Guild never
but
did nothing.
Gil was good. Gil was good.
So
Gil was
also,
good.
I think
Nolly
I
wasn't
think
on the
it's
team when
important
they
to
won
note,
Gamers
though,
8.
that as
I'm
with
not-
anything, value is going to be subjective. You know, the subjective theory of value is something I think holds a lot of weight here. But that's why I was kind of
Interesting.
saying it in this example, Jorby, where it's like if you're looking at it as a FIFA player, or just a player in a game, you know, if you have chemistry is important, right? If it's a 99 talent, 0 chemistry, then I might take that over someone who's 70 talent, 99 chemistry, right? But I think when you're trying to determine, like, if there's a player that is more talented with just a slightly less chemistry gap, or it's reversed, where it's a player who, you know,
James,
not as
James,
much, what's up?
Look,
Ja-
I
Oh,
want.
Nolly won with Guild in
let me go
spring.
ahead.
I'm
Let me get
sorry.
in.
I'm
Let me
sorry.
get in. Let me get in. Let me get in. Let me get in on this. Number one, the answer is clear: chemistry. And I don't even have to go that far into it. James, tell me the 2 best teams in the game right now.
Genji and Carmine Corp.
Okay, James. Talent versus chemistry. Which one do they have more of?
Say who?
Which one? What are those teams? Are those teams talented, or are those teams have more talent than they do chemistry, or is it chemistry over their talent?
I think that Carmine Corp has the best player in Rocket League. honestly.
Okay, I understand he's the best in the game, but the other 2 ain't the best in the game. They're really good players.
But it's also the weaker region.
Gen G,
They're really good
Gen
players.
G also has 3 really good players. Those
Yeah,
teams are great because they have chemistry, James. Because FaZe is better individually, Liquid's better individually, Oxygen's better individually. Who else is better individually?
I don't
Furia might
think
even be better
Oxygen
individually.
Is better individually than Carmine Corp.
No, they
I
are.
don't
They
think
are.
that's
Oh,
the
top
case.
down, top
I
down.
don't
They are.
think
Top
so
down.
Oxygen?
At all. I think
Oxygen,
you are,
Oxygen
I think you are
individually is better than
delusional
Carmine
if you
Corp.
think that.
Oh, yep, yeah. Outside of Vatira, Vatira's better than everybody. But then Itachi in comparison to Rise, Archie Joe. Come on now, like
It's kind of
and-
tough now. I think Itachi's up there.
He's
That's
getting there.
great.
It's up
You know,
now.
hey,
I think-
you know
I think
what? Hey,
Itachi,
listen, we already had a
yeah, for
conversation.
sure.
We already had a conversation why Itachi getting up there. He's playing for Vatira. You can't measure that gravitational pull that Vatira has on the pitch.
My
so
goodness.
it's chemistry over that. Those teams, you know, G2 has been so good for so long because of their chemistry as well. These aren't teams of players who can bust out double resets like Justin on the low. They're not as threatening, but they move the ball around. They see the field. They know how to maximize their teammates, and that's what makes all those teams great. And I think
For
that's
sure,
what matters
but
at the
again,
top.
I think you just have to remember that chemistry can be grown. It can be developed, whereas talent is not something that
You
I
think? Do you really think it can? I don't really think chemistry can be
I
grown
think it
like
can.
I think
No,
FaZe,
I think FaZe
aren't
is a
Fa- aren't
perfect
FaZe literally
example.
proof? FaZe
FaZe
is
is the
No,
perfect
time out.
example.
FaZe is not. See, FaZe is such an interesting conversation, man. I understand they won, but it's not like they were moving around like Gen G and Carmine or something.
Do you think FaZe has improved their chemistry since the last regional event?
Well, I mean, listen, when you're at a
100%.
10. When you're at a 10 and
So-
then you move to a 25, of course it's an improvement. That's not saying
But
much.
it's I didn't ask if they improved. I asked if they had an improvement in chemistry.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, but the
How
bar was
much
so
do you
slow.
think? So roll this. Do you think there's been a massive improvement in talent between those two series?
Yes. Yes.
So in what way then? In what way have their ability to play Rocket League changed in that time period? Then?
Their ability to put they were putting in more hours, which means their touches and their mechanics are a lot more consistent.
But did they grow their talent in that situation? Because to me, talent is not something that just comes from practicing, right?
So how
Talent
does
is
someone
something that
ever
you
get
have.
good? How does someone ever get good at anything, James?
So you practice makes
You're
perfect.
just
and
you're
the
just not
mechanical
talented out the
repetitions.
gate. Like,
But no,
like
there are
all
some
of us
people,
were
when you
whiffing
say
balls
somebody
in
says that
bronze.
they're
Like,
inherently talented. That means you have the capacity to be excellent. And the people who have the most talent have the greatest capacity to be excellent. If they never practice, they might never reach their potential of their talent. But I think the talent has stayed the same for these teams, but the chemistry's been able to grow. And that's why I think it's not as important, because in most situations, if you work hard at growing chemistry, it's a lot easier to grow than somebody's capacity of greatness. I think the capacity of
This is
greatness is
interesting
something
conversation.
that
This is-
stays the same.
Is that right? Can we get a poll? Somebody throw a poll up in the chat. The more you got that.
Yeah, what's the poll?
Throw a poll up in the chat. Talent versus chemistry. What's more? What should be prioritized? Let the people decide. We gotta move on though. We got a couple more topics.
Can you
Yeah.
introduce the
Jorby,
next one
30
while I type
seconds.
this up?
30 seconds, Jorby.
Nope. Go.
Oh, go
move
ahead,
on.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think if you're talking about other esports, it'd be easier to just grab like the best talented player, like in CS, and they can like maybe he can carry you to a few round wins. But in Rocket League, because it's a weak link game and you're only as strong as your weakest player. Chemistry
That's
plays
facts.
a huge role in the success of a team. So you can have all the talent in the world, but the worse your chemistry is, the more the talent doesn't matter. So I think that's why I think chemistry is so important, especially in Rocket League compared to other esports where you can individually carry your team more so than you can in Rocket League.
It's an interesting conversation. I would say chemistry. James made some good points, but I mean,
Yeah, he
I would
does.
say,
Yeah,
I would say Kim a little bit more. But we got to move on, though.
Yeah, okay.
We
Okay.
got to move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
So, chat, you guys are voting on it right now, but let's shift the topic. We're going to put James back into the hot seat. NRG is the topic here. Are we beginning to see the end of NRG? NRG have made only one top 4 this season. 1 top 8 and 3 top 12s. James! They're not the general anymore. And they've been downhill ever since. What's going on?
I know. Downhill so much that you that you went flop, and all the way
talking
over
to
there.
James right now,
you had a first class ticket on the wagon, and Genji said, "Hey, listen, we'll put a mobile one in the wagon. We'll bring you over to LA with us." And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. Genji, you're lucky for that. You're welcome. I don't even get paid by you. I can still make it work too. James, what happened?
So I mean, I think all it takes to put NRG back on track is a good result in this next event. I really do think if NRG comes out, they perform well, it's possible that they make the major. And if they make the major, I truly think that is a possibility. And if they do it, I think they're back on track. I think there's a lot of really good teams that have been struggling lately.
Hold on.
I think that just
I have something real quick.
Oh gosh, I already know where you're going.
I think if you were worried about beginning to see the end, then it would have been a long time ago. Because people
It was a long time ago, James.
Yeah, so
I've been calling this for I
we're
don't know
not
how
beginning.
long.
Yes, I've been
The
there.
map
Then
was
we're not
still on the
beginning.
ship. It was sinking. It was sinking so much. It was a Titan. It hit an iceberg already, James. It's been done.
well.
It's been done.
The thing
It's
that
gone. It's
bothers
done.
me as an NRG fan is that it has not been as disastrous as everybody has made
There's
it
no
out
way.
to be.
There's no way.
It has really not been. If you just look at the results, it has not been as
It's really not
terrible.
that bad.
You know, like top 8 at Worlds, missing out at the last major as the 6th seed. It's not as terrible
it's
as
really not
everybody makes
bad.
it out
It's
to be.
really-
It
exactly.
really
Oh,
is.
but
we
Furia
just,
is so
we
much
just
more.
lowered our standard for
No,
the
I didn't say
the
Furia
general.
is bad either, Jordan.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
Furia
James.
was
I'm talking about James.
Like that is why
Oh.
I say, because it has not been miserable. Like they have just missed out. They've been in a funk. It's clear that they've been in a funk. But one result, this next event, can get them back on track. There's a lot of teams where that's just not true. Like you could have a good result and it's still done. Like you're not, like no hope. But NRG is in a spot where I truly think that they have the capability of getting to the finals and winning if they can overcome the mental barriers that they've been struggling to get over lately. And I think you can't say that about a lot of teams. So are we beginning to see the end? I don't think so. I think if the end of NRG has happened, it started a while ago. And I think, you know, it's not too late to salvage, but if they are looking to make changes, I think this next split, there's a lot of opportunity that wasn't available in the last roster window. So I don't think it's the end. I think if it's over, it was over a while ago, but there's still a chance.
That is the biggest dose of copium I've ever heard.
It's the
truth,
in
though.
what way am I wrong?
He's not coping though. He's not coping. They really haven't been bad. They've been out of the lands that they've been in. They've been at 2, correct? They've been at Winter Major last year and then Worlds. Winter Major didn't do so hot. Worlds, they finished top 8.
They were also at fall last year as well.
Oh, they're at fall.
Yeah, but that was like
fall.
no
They finished
crowd.
second.
Yeah, that was second.
They finished second. So they finished second. Didn't do so well at Winter and top 8 at World Championship. They are consistently competing against some of the best in NA, which is some of the best in the world. It's not like they're getting blown out. They're losing overtime. Same thing as Furia, which is why Jorby and James should be on the same team here.
Yeah, that's why I was saying we should be allies. We're both running the same story.
I think it's just tough. I think that squad's a LAN team. I think that's a team that can really thrive on LAN. Same thing with Furia. And the online with there only being 5 major spots, I think it's tough because it comes down to little micro details. And I do think if you're rolling a dice, or just had like you're trying to put money down or something, you're gonna pick the Gen G, FaZe, G2, and the likes before you pick NRG. NRG has a chance against those teams, but they have to be on it. That's like a 7 out of 10. Those teams 3 out of 10 NRG, and that's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it. But there's only 5 spots because you're not always gonna have that series. So I mean, it's really what they want to do. I think they're great for the game. I think where they're at the lands, especially, that's when you're gonna get the maximum amount of hype, because those are 3 of the best legends of all time, and also 3 of the best. There's still 3 of the best players in the game, like top 30, top 40, top 50 players in the game. Like that still means something.
Top 50. Toasty, shout out Toasty.
It's Toasty top 50.
We talking about that was a huge discussion. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But we talk about a team, right, that was consistently top 3. They were consistently a part of the big 3. The big 3 started this whole conversation. What I think is happening now.
They're the number 1.
Exactly. They were the head of the 3. But what I think is happening right now is we have drastically lowered our standard. Lowered it.
I don't think that's the case.
I would speak on that because if you think that the NRG behind the scenes, I'm talking Andy, Jamie, I know y'all, you think they are happy with this team not making majors and this team not being on top?
I'm not talking about them.
But
I guarantee you they want their team to make it. But I want NRG to make it. There's so much.
People want
Rocket
NRG
League
to be great.
Rocket League
People
needs
want
NRG to make
great.
it. But they just
people love this team.
Yeah, exactly. But we've lowered our standard, and they're such a fan favorite for the scene, for Rocket League in general, that we think they're not doing that bad. They are
But they're not.
I think
are
the
not a
challenge
LAN
also
team.
is that we have look at
making
these teams
land is
though.
hard.
No,
Two
it
of
shouldn't.
the teams
Bro, we
in the
lowered
top
their
5
standard.
right now are region transfers. They're region transfers.
Are we gonna sit here and for a team that was the best in the region, the best team, and we're gonna be like, oh, take it easy on them because they can't make it. The
nobody's
region
taking
got
it
harder.
easy on them.
They have fell. They've fallen.
They have fallen. They're
They
not
have
as
fallen.
good.
So-
when they were the best team in North America, G2 didn't have Atomic. Complexity didn't have CRR. Gen G didn't exist. Who else was over here? Who else?
Exactly.
Was over
So
here?
they're not the best
when
anymore. You can't.
FaZe didn't have First Killer, Mr. Typical, for crying out loud. All these teams didn't
So
exist
why are
when
we
they were the
cutting them
best in it.
slack? Why are we cutting them slack? Because
I'm
teams
not
got
cutting them
better.
slack.
Yeah,
Teams
they're
didn't
not
just
doing
get
that
better.
bad.
More teams came over here. Everyone's complaining about Elevate. Look, Gen G, if they never came over here, NRG probably would have been at the last major.
All right, let's stop it.
No, I'm not going to
They had
stop.
16 points.
We're not changing our
Let's stop.
standards.
Let's stop.
We're not changing
Let's
our
stop,
standards.
man.
There, we got top of the world level teams coming over and making NA way more difficult.
And now we're actually
thought
sending.
Gen G
we're-
was gonna be what they are now. You don't even
It
lie to
doesn't
me
matter
and
to
say
me. It's like I think we're
I
not
didn't say
changing
they were
our
gonna be a top
standards. I
18.
think that the standards are we
Top
expect
8.
NRG to be great, but we recognize that NA is harder than it has ever been before. It is harder than it
And the
has
5
ever
spots
been
are
before.
tough, bro. And you got to think about it, bro. It's really you have 2 spots in the name. You have 2 spots up for grabs for pairs of 6 teams.
That's
'Cause you
crazy
got
coming
three
from a
of them
team that-
gone. 3 of them are gone. 3 of them are gone. You know.
That's
You
crazy that
know
we're-
that
yeah.
Gen G, FaZe, and G2 are at every major.
what I'm trying to
Unless one of
say
them
is that
forgets how to play
they-
Rocket League. They're all there. So you have 2 spots up for grabs.
What I'm trying to say is that this team that we're talking about was one of those 3 teams that we used to talk about. They're not there anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, man.
It's the end of NRG. It's been.
I guess.
I will say I think there is a difference between like being considered one of the best 3 teams in the region to struggle. Oh, James, no, he's gone dark. He's gone dark. See ya. See you later. Oh man, there's definitely a bit of a difference there.
He said that word.
And I tend to agree with you, Roltiz, on NRG. I just like, sure, they played like Space Station close, but like, I mean, they used to beat Space Station more times than not. I mean, granted, that was a different roster back then. That was
Significantly.
pre-Daniel.
Daniel.
But like, that's just it. All this talent's moved in, and NRG just like another notch down the ladder, another notch down the ladder. They've stabilized like at the bottom of that top 8. Can they pop off if they win all those OTs? I do think so.
Listen.
I think so. But
Listen,
I don't.
listen,
Do I think they're going to? Probably
Listen.
not.
Listen. All it takes. See, this is when free agency comes into play. When free agency comes into play, and Dan and Beast Mode are there in NRG, you give them the max. You give one of them the max.
You think Daniel's on the table?
If he's giving the max. If he's
They
giving
they better drop a bag for everything they can get.
You pay Dan $25,000 a month, NRG. Trust me, you'll be number one again. You'll be number one. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. But that goes for any of these teams now. SSG, y'all go get Garrett now.
Hold on.
So like
You overplays Garito. Give them the leadership. Give Dan and B the leadership they need.
No, I said SSG could go get Garrett. Like SSG could pick up Garrett and pair him with
Oh.
Daniel. Like that. That's what makes it all interesting. But
I feel like I'd love to see Garrett
but
like pull a Jack and just pick up 2 like grinders. If he did end up leaving NRG, it'd be cool to watch him like go and lead 2 grinders to victory like Jack did with Nolly.
I don't appreciate anyone throwing out any hypothetical situations
No,
where
you're
Garrett G
right.
leaves NRG. I think we should just move on. Like,
No, Garrett's on
Nolly deserves all the
Garrett's
credit.
on
You're
energy for
absolutely
life.
right. He won a
Yeah, thank
regional
you.
with
He is.
Guild.
Energy
He
for
made
life.
top 4 in a previous regional. You're absolutely right. Nolly doesn't deserve the disrespect. You're 100%
Yeah, Knowledge
correct.
one of the best in the game for a reason.
Nolly's the
For a
blue.
reason. All right, major predictions, the bar.
Let's talk about major predictions. That's right. We got like 10 minutes left into this show. So, who will represent APAC and Sam in San Diego? There's ties for both regions. Get the standings up. Let's get them quick. Sam winter standings coming to you in 3, 2, 1. There you go. 3-way tie between Team Secret, Exceed, and Crew.
Woo! Yep. This is
Jorby, who's representing?
it's tight. Honestly, dude, I could see any of those 4 teams getting top 2. Crew just won grand finals. Team Secret won the previous one. Exceed lost in grand finals both times, but they beat Team Secret in regional 2. W7M with Royales. Royales has been the kind of center of that team, but Exceed has KNS and Klaus, as well as Davitrox, which is they're like the Sam Team Queso right now. And I'm telling you, I think that team's making the major. I'm gonna say Exceed and Secret make it. I think Secret will clutch up 3rd regional.
Exceed and Secret for Sam. Do we want to? Does everybody want to go around or?
Nope. I'm good with that. I'll roll with Joe Bizzle.
We'll go with Jorby Bizzle on that one. Let's take a look at APAC standings. This one's a little bit in the air. Elevate and Gladiators. Remember, only one can go. Detonator close behind as well. Detonator can sneak into that number 1 spot. And who do we want to go? Who do we think will go?
It's tough. Elevate kind of just slapped everybody around.
Yeah, but they've been losing too.
No, but they kind of looked like they took it serious again and slapped everybody around. So I don't know.
Yeah, they won a winner cup.
I don't know.
Gladiator's been second twice, and the winner open was won by Detonator.
Yeah, Detonator's not lacking that consistency, but they're the only team that's beating Elevate. So I'm just gonna go Elevate again.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's safe. Elevate's a safe bet. I'm putting Detonator as my dark horse, though. I think that they might sneak through if Elevate don't show up. So cool. That's cool. Let's shift over to Europe. We'll see.
Skipping Data with Daz, huh?
Oh no, Data with Daz is Europe.
Oh, it is.
Data with Daz is. Does your team still have a chance? I will go over how EU teams can make the major.
And you do it in 3.
3 minutes. Oh, we're
We
about to speed run this. Can I get a full screen? Help. Let me know when I'm on the. Okay, I'm on the screen. 1, 2. Wait. Oh, my green screen's messed up. Bust. I blame my dog. Boom. Okay. Here we go. We got all the scenarios here on the sheet right here. I can move out the way. As you can see, K Corp of clinch. Team Liquid and Oxygen clinch with 3rd, 4th for better.
I can see?
You can see that? I can see that.
Oh, I can. I full screened it.
Yeah, come on now. Get with me. Work with me now. I can move this around too. As you can see, teams at the bottom already out. Solary, Tundra, they got to get 2nd. BDS is eliminated with 3rd or worse. Is there any team you guys want to see like that more detailed look on too while we go through this? Moist, Williams, Resolve, G1 Science, clinch with regional wins. I'll just click through them anyways. We'll start with Liquid here. You can see clinches with a finish 3rd or 4th, doesn't matter. Now, if they finish 5 through 8th or anything lower, they need some help. It's not looking good for them. Now, Oxygen, same kind of situation. We don't need to get too much into that. Vitality, same kind of situation. We don't need to get too much into that. Who else do we got? German Amigos. This time, these guys got to finish second. If they finish third or fourth, they need 5 things to happen. That's a lot. I imagine if you guys really want to see these details, you could just hit pause, or you could just check out Direct on Twitter. He's going to have all of these stats up as well, so you guys can see them for yourselves. Quadrant, Clinch and Major was second. If they finish third or fourth, they need 6 of these things to happen. If they finish 5 through 8th, they need all of these things to happen. And they get eliminated if they finish 9th through 12th. So got to make it out of groups quadrant and got to get out of round 1. Here's Moist. They got to win to clinch. How much time we get? Oh, I'm doing great on time. They finish second and 5 or more of these things happen. Williams Resolve, regional win. They need second and 6 or more of these to happen. Here's G1, similar situation. Sonics, similar situation. This is just showing how close it is for Europe. Everyone's talking about BDS, though.
Oh, that's the one I want to see.
What do BDS need? Clinches a major with a regional win. They need to win the regional, and they need liquid, between liquid, oxygen, and vitality. They need to finish
happen.
9th through 12th. And
Dude,
German
this is-
Amigos
yeah.
have to finish 5th through 8th or worse. Quadrant or Moist have to finish under top 4. So, original win, some of this is still doable. That bottom half there is doable.
Doable.
That Team Liquid 9th through 12th. Okay, probably not gonna happen.
It's all
Oxygen
doable.
9th through 12th. Vital,
It's
This
doable.
is,
BDS, I'm with you, baby.
This is Solary, and this is Tundra. Eliminated. Both teams
All right.
eliminated with a finisher second.
Them teams ain't making it.
That is going to be data with dads. That's the quick version. How are we feeling about that?
That
looks
was
like-
the quick version.
It looks like BDS is gonna be the winter major.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Looks like
For
you're still
BDS.
delusional. All right.
Listen, and there's a time for them to be greatest this weekend. I believe in the boys.
Let's shift over to Europe. Let's take a look at the groups because, again, Europe is coming up soon. Which group do you guys think is going to be the group of death? German Amigos and KC are in a group for the 3rd straight time. They've been getting really acquainted with each other. Okay,
It's B.
B, Moist, G1, BDS, and Tundra.
I think D is sneaky. Sonics have kind of been punching above their weight class a little bit.
His wrist is broken.
Rise's wrist
He's
is
in a
broken.
cast.
Wait,
He's
for
gonna
real?
be.
Yes, his
he's
wrist
like playing
is
with his
broken.
nose or something.
But you know what? I think that Monaco Esports being there probably ensures that all 3 of those teams get out. So maybe that's not really a deathy group.
Yeah, I think it would be B.
Yeah,
It
I
is
think-
B.
Yeah, I think it's B. But just on the Rise thing, I broke my wrist my arm snowboarding one winter, and I still played video games without impairment. So
Okay,
I don't
well,
know how much that's going
James,
to affect him.
you're
I
not
think
a
he can
pro.
still play. Yeah, but I was pro back then before there were contracts. I'm talking 2003, 2002.
He just
back
old
when
man'd you.
Xbox Live just came out. There were no pro gamers back then, really. I mean, I guess there were, but
So we
not-
still had
not
game
like there
battles.
was.
2002. How old were you? 2002.
2002. I have
17.
no idea.
It's
I think
11
it was
years
like
ago.
13.
18.
Shout out Game Battles ladders, man.
2002 is definitely more than
true.
11 years ago, buddy. It's 21.
GBs used to be fun. But those were the
Facts.
good days.
Did he not notice his math he just did?
What did he say?
What?
2002.
Yeah, 11 years ago. Oh, 20. Dang. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. That was crazy. Wow. Okay,
Oh
time
my
flies. Time flies.
Yeah, it does. When you're having fun.
Oh, okay. Wow. That was.
This man said 11 years ago. Are you okay?
It
Even if
just-
we were in 2013, that wouldn't make no sense either, buddy. Rock Lee wasn't even out by then.
You know, time really moves, man. I'm telling you. This is how
You were like 4,
I was not 4.
5.
I was like 7.
Daz remembered his time in diapers. Like, man, time flies.
Yeah, I had memories around that time.
In 2002, you were born in 95.
I was 96.
So you're 5. Well, it depends on the time. You're 5, 6, turn 6.
Yeah, I was like 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing
see.
games since I was 1 though, so that don't matter.
Nobody was
One.
playing games when they were 1. Stop talking. to
Yeah, I had a Sega Genesis. I was sitting there. I was, I had Sega.
See,
Man's just wiggling the joystick on Pong.
That's why
Like,
you can't trust dudes, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You're making up stuff.
Bro,
you
what
were not
does-
playing
I have
games when you
pictures
were 1.
of that.
You were, okay, you might have had a controller in your hand, sure. That doesn't mean you were doing anything cognitively.
Listen, I used to sit.
requisite.
I used to sit next to my my uncles. They give me
I
a
don't wanna hear
controller
this.
that wasn't plugged in. I have a great time.
It's great, exactly. Yeah, you're really playing games at 1. That was absolutely an anomaly. Yeah, BDS, Group B. The
Yeah,
toughest.
BDS. Yeah, that's. I mean, you look at BDS's run. it's been so challenging, and it doesn't get any easier here. Really, all those teams are capable. Tundra hasn't had the best results, but they are fully capable. I think that is a team. I mean, I would hate to be in Group B.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for everyone in Group B, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Group B looks like that's going to be the tough one out here. And again, we talked about that point race to the major very quickly, but we did kind of touch on it. Who's going to be able to make that race? You guys are going to find out this weekend on twitch.tv/Rocket League. So, of course, turn those notifications on. That'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to figure out which teams will go into the winter major this year from Europe. Who's going to represent them? We only have one team clinched in K-Corp. Everybody else still fighting for those spots, so keep it locked in on that. That being said, gentlemen, we have hit our time mark today. This was a good show, though. This was a good conversation. I enjoyed it. I mean, for you guys who are wondering what those other topics were, again, we were just going to hit on if Karma would do it again. We were going to talk about Falcons, Super Lucky Revenge Tour, because they ended up winning.
They're going off.
Yeah, they did really. They ended up winning in 7 against KCP. And of course, Uni Rocketeers kicking off today. So the race to CRL Worlds is beginning. Again, CRL Worlds happening later this year. But of course, CRL's happening today and tomorrow. So keep that locked in tomorrow on twitch.tv/Rocket League as well. So, Jorby, James, thank you guys for coming on. Great conversations as always. You guys are absolute treat to be here. I want to go to Jorby and James just to get final thoughts.
Yeah, always appreciate you guys bringing me on the show, even if it's just to point the finger and laugh at me and my favorite team. But it was great. I had a great time.
My turn?
Yes, your turn, James.
All right, everybody, thank you for having me on. Daz, Roldiz, T-Bates, it's always a pleasure. Jorby, it was wonderful being here with you. Our team's both in the same spot.
Yep.
I guess all I
Good
have to
luck to you,
say
James.
is with Daz leaving NRG, I made a diss track about him. It's called Money Talks, and it's on YouTube right now. And it's just my message to Daz for leaving me behind and in the dust. So if you want to go check that out, I think it's worth the time. That's all I got.
100% worth the time.
Happy for you. Thank you guys for joining us on the show today. Really appreciate you guys coming on and being able to deliver on this conversation. Obviously, thank Rollers and T-Bates that, they do the thing every day. First Touch Esports, might have to look at that. Either way, thank you everyone who's been working on the show behind the scenes as well. All of the staff who, worked so hard to make this show as entertaining as it is. We thank you guys so much. Also, thank you Psyonix, of course, for allowing us to run us on twitch.tv/Rocket League. Like I said, this week, big Rocket League action. Of course, CRL tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. EU Winter Invitational to find out which 4 teams are going to be representing Europe at the major. And of course, you're going to keep it locked in here Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/Rocket League, because we're going to talk about everything that happens from that here on First Touch. So on behalf of everybody, thank you guys for watching. Without you, I don't even know where I would be. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And we will see you next week here on First Touch. 1, 2, toodaloo.